Bushwhacks were some of the worst days I've ever had in the mountains, or life, really.
Whereas Panther Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Now you're listening to Inside the Line, the Catskill Mountains podcast.
All right, episode 230 tonight. David Perez joins us for one of the newest challenges in New York State called the NYDownstate28. Now, this is, David, I got to admit, man, I first heard about this. It's been gaining traction, man. We're excited to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every one of your followers has picked up my challenge, so I'm excited about that.
So you've got two people. So two people have done it.
So there's dozens of us, dozens.
Oh, okay.
But no, they seem to be enjoying it too.
Excellent. Yeah, it's an excellent challenge, and once again, a lot of the listeners are from the Hudson Valley, New York City area, so. Yep. This is a great way to get them, out of the high peaks, doing their own thing, and then maybe getting them up into the high peaks. Good starter challenge. So David's on here tonight chatting about that. We're also going to chat about a bunch of other stuff. David has I wouldn't say repertoire, but I know David not as much as I should as it sounds, but he has been everywhere. To hear his stories, where did I follow you? Mount Hood? You gave me your. I was like,
that was way back Mount St. Helens. That's when we first got into volcanoes. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was following him on his Garmin on Mount St. Helens just to make sure he didn't die.
Yeah, he was my lifeline.
Hell yeah. So glad to have you on. But first things first, let's get down to business. Now I waited this is a couple weeks old. I wanted to wait for this to see if there was any more like details and stuff about this. But on the Devil's Path 2 weeks ago, there was alleged mountain lion attack. So I get this information from the Greene County, New York Fire District, saying that there was a rescue in Lexington staged at the Spruceton Trailhead, hiker, possible attack by mountain lion. As the stuff coming in, the person who posted it was a firefighter in the Lexington area, said Greene 911 in contact with the hiker. Hiker has not been attacked, but a mountain lion is in the area. Hiker is exhausted and located about 2 miles up the Devil's Path from the trailhead. So we're going up to Southwest Hunter. And then it says hiker's vehicle is located in the area of Mink Hollow Road. New York State Police on the scene and into the woods. Now later on, I dug deeper. I tried to dig deeper. It didn't seem much came out. Haven't heard, of course, much from DC. They're going to hide that because it's a mountain lion. But I have a feeling it was just, I don't even know what the hell it would be, a bobcat out there or something, or if this person just fully made up this thing and just wanted to get out of there on a rescue. Haven't heard if they needed a litter carry out, if they just dehydrated or such. But being 2 miles up Southwest Hunter on Devil's Path, kind of like besides coming back down on St. Anne's Peak, is like one of the most easiest parts of Devil's Path. It's got a lot of elevation gain, but it's pretty easy. So I don't know. What is your thoughts on this, David? I mean, you've been out in the areas out west where there are mountain lions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that the lack of any new information is a little sus. So maybe there is something to hide. I remember seeing this post. I think you posted it initially as it was happening. And I mean, it's easy to say that they made it up. I know that was a theory. People are just to get, make it seem more alarming. But yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows in the Catskills? Tad, I sent you this like immediately. What were your thoughts?
That's it. I got my thoughts.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, right? Hiker, possible attack by mountain lion. So as if you would be uncertain about whether or not
That's
you were
true.
attacked by a mountain lion. Okay?
Which is true.
Seriously? You don't know?
And when was this?
And how can you call yourself a hiker if you can't, when being attacked, you can't tell the difference between a mountain lion, a bobcat, a bear? I'm just going to throw Bigfoot in there as well. Okay.
Yeah, it's it's definitely
I will
wild
say-
to hear.
I think this guy baited you, right? I think you got baited by this guy, Mark Bacchus.
Bacchus,
Baited-
yeah.
Yeah, baited you. You took the bait. And when this episode comes out, he's going to be rolling in laughter with Denny Hall and the unnamed hiker that you took the bait on this.
That it's still, being processed like that's just, and then after this, after I first posted this, I see a bunch of different news places on social media, like I forgot, it was like New York Upstate or something like that, New York Live, post about this as well. And it looks like in their reviews or their content, they say that like DEC says there is no alleged attack or anything like that. So I don't know if they reached out to the DEC about this and asked them about that. I mean, to be honest, like people say they cover mountain lion attacks all the time or mountain lion sightings. What the fuck would you cover? What would you cover a wild animal sighting for any reason possible? Like, people are going to be.
It's that somebody reports it's a mountain lion is obviously unusual, but I'm going to ask my wife. I think our one red house cat got loose that day, and maybe that explains because she is kind of large, even though we call her Peach. Peach is a kind of a large orange tiger house cat. Could be mistaken for a mountain lion. Yeah.
And the one thing is alleged, like, what did the mountain lion do? Like jump up, like put his paws on it and then pounced away? Like there's that. Have you've both seen that one guy that was walking through like one of the higher areas that the mountain lion was pouncing at him for like 5 minutes? Like that is terrifying. This one just kind of like was walking up Southwest Hunter and slapped him on the ass and was like, and then ran away.
Well, it was a possible attack. I don't know what exactly that means, but whatever it wasn't a full-on attack. Is that why don't they say possible mountain lion?
It makes sense.
They're not sure about the attack, but are they so certain about the mountain lion? I have no idea.
I got it.
If I'm a listener, I'm hitting the fast forward button. This
is soccer. We were at FIFA. So this was a soccer player that went up, got hit by like a tree branch and fell down and had like, my knee, I need help. No, I think that if it was a soccer player, they did that bicycle kick on the mountain lion and it ran away. Yeah.
What do you think, David? You think you a soccer fan? Is that how it went down?
I don't think that's how it went down.
Okay.
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that they were attacked by something. Maybe just that Devil's Path air that gets you. I don't know. Were they doing the Devil's Path? Were they actually hiking the full trail? Because I've hallucinated the hell out of that trail. Like toward the end, you're going over St. Anne's and just thinking about a burger and seeing spots. Maybe that's what happened.
They said there was parked at Mink Hollow, so I mean that's plateaus. So they were doing not even the east, western, but I mean that would seem western and then plateau. It's a really odd place to park for saying that you're doing the Devil's Path.
No, I mean I've done the eastern for the Devil's Path using that as either the car spot or where I ditch the bike when I start. So
all you got to do is summit plateau and then you come back down to Mink Hollow. True.
Well,
true.
And then you go hit Sugarloaf Twin, Indian Head, out to Prediger.
Okay.
Another car. I mean, it's if you're out banging out peaks, that's the easiest way to bang out those four is to start or stop at Mink Hollow.
Yeah. So we'll keep our eyes out. I mean, I'll definitely keep my eyes out. This is my kind of stuff. Yeah. I'll reach out to the one lady we had on here, Erin, I believe, to talk about this and come out and be like, Graham and Double Top. We'll actually be talking about this in a couple minutes. So
we got to let's find the possible hiker and interview the possible hiker.
True. Maybe it was that. I mean, you told me about this before, but that person that fell off 100-foot clip and like saw angels or something. Maybe it was the same exact thing, except he saw a mountain lion.
Mhm. David's already said it's like the hallucinogenic zone of the Catskills.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
So let's move on to, we got some rescues in the Catskills. So town of Shandaken on July 12th, 4:44 p.m. Rangers Horton and Martin responded to a call for a hiker who fell, twisted their leg, and hit their head on a rock approximately a quarter mile up the Tanbark Trail. Rangers joined the Phoenicia Fire Department, Shandaken EMS, and packaged the patients and carried them to the road. Shandaken EMS transported them to the local hospital. Resources were clear at 6:15. So that's Tanbark Trail. It's up near Tremper, like right around there, Shandaken, Phoenicia, Tremper area, right?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a nice trail.
It is.
Part of the All Trails Challenge.
Okay. So glad they got out. It's not a bad rescue, an hour and a half. Good for them. In the town of Hunter at 7:10 p.m. on July 12th, same day, Greene County requested forest ranger assistance for a report of an unconscious subject at Catskill Falls. Rangers responded with twin-clothed technical rope rescue team, Hunter Police, Greene County Sheriffs, Greene County Paramedics, and multiple fire departments. When rescuers arrived, the patient was conscious after suffering a diabetic emergency. Rescuers carried the subject to the trailhead. A Hunter ambulance transported them to hospitals, and resources were clear at 9:45. Another successful rescue. So Rangers are... It's that time of year, man. I contacted Martin and I was just like, how you guys doing? And he's like, it's getting busy. It's getting seriously busy. So they're doing good. So thank you for your rescues and stuff like that. Thank you for your participation and stuff. And that seemed like that everybody responded to that Catskill Falls ones, yet Horn and Martin were the only ones that responded to the TAN. They're like, yeah, well, we got this. We're fine. So.
Yeah, well, that's quite a carry out for them off of Tannenbark.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But the Phoenicia Fire Department was there. They're very
okay.
They're very good with that as well. So all right. What else do we have going on? As we all know, with the recent past week or so, wildfire smoke has been entering the region and it has been crazy. Like we have been hitting where I lived, we got an AQI, air quality index of around 350. And I heard down south in the Catskills and stuff, it was hitting around like 400 at times and stuff. So it's been a wildfire smoke coming from Canada over in Ontario. If you've seen this stuff on social media, the plumes that are coming out of this look like David, has been the volcano stuff. We talk about Mount St. Helens. This looks like a volcano erupted. Like it's just insane. And, Hudson Valley Weather, Alex from Hudson Valley Weather explained this perfectly, that there's the jet stream is just flowing, bringing that smoke from that part of Ontario down into our area. And it's wild. Tad, you're around like 60 years old. You have been through 60 years of this. We talked about this. Can you remember any time of them saying like on the news, like wildfire smoke will be entering the area? We talked about this a little bit in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. So growing up in the 60s and 70s, I don't remember any issues with wildfire smoke. And I grew up less than 20 miles off of Lake Erie and a stone's throw off of Chautauqua Lake in southwestern New York. And it was quite common in the summer to see these inversions, but what was being inverted was all of the smokestack emissions from generally coal fire and oil fired factories, steelmaking plants, et cetera, out in the Midwest. And so we would have these inversions and the acid rain and all of that stuff. And it was, you could taste it in the air, but I don't know. Remember. Yeah. Well, it would be so bad that when you were actually within like 5 or 10 miles of these factories, the sky would be orange in the middle of the day. And it would taste like that rotten sulfur eggs because of, the fossil fuel emissions that were coming out of the smokestacks. And, you know, if you go back far enough, I mean, Lake Erie was just like a cesspool.
Yeah, it was a little,
You wouldn't go, I mean, you would throw somebody in it if you wanted to be vindictive and punitive, but you wouldn't go swimming in Lake Erie in the 60s and early 70s. And then remarkably, it cleaned up over time. But yes, forest fires, smoke, unheard of.
David, how about you? I mean, sorry to ask. How old are you, sir?
40. And I feel
40.
it.
Yeah, right. Do you know? You don't. I don't remember this being in the as a kid, like it coming in and hearing stuff about this.
Yeah, nothing like that. So I grew up in northern New Jersey. I'm still here, but we always had pine barren fires every summer. But those would blow south of us, and sometimes occasionally it would like kick up, and then you'd smell it. But no, nothing that was just such a large swath of area. And it's scary. I mean, Bucky and I, we do a lot of travel out west, and the wildfires are always something that you have to consider in your travels, especially in the summer, especially by late summer. But the Northeast always felt like it was kind of immune to that. But I guess those times are changing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll echo David's comments. You know, one of the things I've learned through my daughter, who's perpetually traveling now, is routine for her when she's going from one place to the other or picking where she's going next is you need to check for the forest fires, where they are, where they're moving, because last summer, as an example, I won't say they were evacuated, but yeah, they were rushed out of a certain area because of an advancing forest fire in western Colorado. And she also had another incident last year. I think it was in Utah. But the other thing, which I didn't realize until I started going out west with my daughter and talking to people, that a seasonal occupation out west is being a professional forest fire. That's what you do. Every forest fire season, you hook up working for, you know, either the federal government or state government or whoever's, you know, hiring, and they all hire seasonally. You pick up a job for the season fighting forest fires. And so you work X months out of the year doing that stuff. And then when the season's over, you either don't work or you get some other job. But yeah, it's a seasonal gig for a lot of people out there fighting forest fires. I never knew that.
Not only is it seasonal, but I hear that it's very competitive. Like it's a job that people really want, and the training is grueling and brutal. I mean, they like drop you out of planes, helicopters to get back into the backcountry to get behind the fire. Yeah, no, I've heard that it's a very grueling training just to get in, and it's very selective.
No, well, I was looking forward to that, Tad. Thanks a lot. When I do the RV life, now I ain't going to be able to do that shit. I'll be like, hey,
you just got to look at the forest fire map and plan accordingly.
Well, I meant as a seasonal job of when we move out west for the RV life. I ain't gonna. They got like 20-year-olds freaking killing the shit out of me, and I'm gonna be 50 when I 50. Well, that's 60 when I retire.
The forest fires I met were all in their 20s.
Yeah. So throw that out the bag. Yeah. Save that for the young. I'll be watching the binoculars from and be like, oh, it's getting bad. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Once again, you go out hiking. We'll talk about it later on previous hikes. Check out the air quality index because it does affect you. You know, you can taste smell. You can taste it. You can smell it. It can affect your breathing and stuff. And we'll talk about that later. So it's crazy. And last but not least, another mountain lion chat. We have a family that is selling its 136-year-old farm for wildlife crossing, and they deem this a lifeline for mountain lions. So up in Washington State's Cascades, beautiful Cascade Mountains, this family sold their 94-acre property for $1.1 million, all the way to make way for a major wildlife bridge planned across Interstate 5, reconnecting the habitats of the Catskill Mountains with the Olympic Peninsula. Now, this acquisition will make new wildlife crossing ready to move ahead, and it makes a whole new instance for the wildlife to proceed from one area to the other. The Seattle Times reported that the nonprofit Conservation Northwest raised $2.5 million to help buy the land for the crossing, which was returned to the Confederated Tribes of the Chehalis Reservation. Now, these existing pathways, we all know that, the interstates, roads, stuff like that, change the way that the animals proceed to their next area, or they want to breed over in that area. So they are definitely changing this, and this is a really good step forward. If you want to see mountain lions, I guess we're going to have to go over the Cascades and stuff. And this was initial step to main habitat connections, and they're basically devoting this to wolves, elk, fishers, and other wildlife like mountain lions. So it's definitely a cool event that is happening. The Seattle Times chatted about this 50 years ago with the Vine Maple Farms Trust, saying that they had this in mind for a very long time. That's been in the family. The family's had this place for 136 years, and they are doing what they want to do with it. That the family has this and stored to use this as a lifeline for connecting wildlife from one major habitat to another, of the Cascades to the Olympics. Now, David, you've been in the Cascades and you've been to the Olympics as well. I've heard nothing but amazing things.
It's our favorite place on earth. Truly gorgeous. We've been to a lot of places, and I don't think there's anything as beautiful as the North Cascades, especially, and the Olympics. Pretty close second for sure.
Now, the wildlife, that's where like wolverines are and stuff like that. Like, it's a big habitat for that area.
There's a lot of wildlife. I don't know that there are wolverines, but it's not like you would see them anyway. Maybe there are, but there's a lot of wildlife. We see a lot of mountain goats when we go. They're everywhere looking for salt, chewing on stuff.
Walking your way up the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the Northern Cascades, I know, are kind of very similar to kind of like the Canadian Rockies and stuff like that. There's the glaciers. There's a lot of awesome turquoise glacial fed lakes and stuff like that. And the peaks are enormous. You have like 3,000, 4,000 foot gains in just a matter of like not even miles and stuff. And
double that.
Yeah,
it's
double
insane.
that.
It's insane.
So now, like, the wildlife, of course, we're talking, like, I've been up in Canada where they've had these massive bridges, and over the years they've shown a great success with moose crossings, elk, bear, wolves, foxes, stuff like that. So this is going to be a huge step. This is going to be a great step. Will we see this in the Northeast, Tad, do you think?
Well, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking of printing out this article and sending it to the Gould family to convince them to sell their property for a mountain lion habitat, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, that's kind of why I brought this up. I saw this and I was just like, maybe that is what's going to happen for the Goulds. They're gonna sell this area to a certain, maybe what is it, OPI? And they're going to sell that to them, and it's going to be a natural habitat for mountain lions. And they are going to, I shared this on the Instagram a little bit before, of them rehabilitating mountain goats to different areas because, they need them over there, or they've been destroying there. So I can see this happening. I can see mountain lions being transported. We got a Chinook flying over with 3 different mountain lions on it, and then they drop it off right on the top of double top. They sign into the canister, and then they go to the next thing. Graham, sign in if it's still there on Graham, and they start taking over. We have our first canister sign in since, 2022?
Was that when they took it down? Yeah, I would suppose so.
I'm guessing that's what, but it's, I think it's pretty neat, once again, the influence that people have, instead of, selling these, that's a big step for, I would say, away from greed, to sell it to, once again, somebody like wants to keep the natural habitat, of the animals and stuff, instead of just selling it to some rich millionaire that's just going to take over and
yeah, well,
not enjoy it.
Rich millionaires can arguably preserve the environment, and maybe some would say that's what the Gould family has done, particularly if you're willing to ignore the radio tower and facilities that were built there in the 60s. and maybe they would have done a better job of land stewardship had they allowed the unmarked trail to the summit of Double Top being marked as kind of like a pilot program for the DEC to see how that would work, marking these trails as opposed to shutting down the mountain altogether. And maybe in connection with that, we can ask the Gould family to let us know of how many ever Gould family members there are at present, how many of them have been to the summit of South Double Top in the last 4 or 5 years.
True.
Sure. Maybe we'll get to a number that's more than 5. Maybe not. I don't know. But it's interesting, although, as we have reported earlier, we are, well, I'm not going to say we are, but somebody is, relocating mountain lion cubs to Double Top Mountain. And so you should stay away for a while. You can go to South Double Top, but stay away from Double Top proper.
Yeah.
Unless you're a member of CATS, which is the Catamount Adoption and Training Stewards Program.
Yeah, David donated to that. Yeah, David donated to that.
Yeah. He's
All
probably going to come up
proceeds,
with some nice merch for that as well.
Ooh.
That's in the future. Right.
I actually
Nice.
did make you a custom sticker. I'll have to send it to you, and it involves some big cats in the Catskills.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that day. I'm excited. People are going to love it. All right. So thank you guys for shooting the shit. Let's move on to the important people of the show. Definitely not us. Like Chris Garabian, Eric Rosario, Oscana Nichols, John Comiskey, Mikey S., Desert City Radio, Henry Burmeister, Vicky Ferreira, Jeff Jotz, David Oliver, Betsy A., Denise W., Vanessa, and Jim C. Whew, it's a lot. Love you guys.
Getting
Thank
long.
you. Yeah, it's long. It's amazing. Once again, they're supporting the show that, I thought would never do anything. And this is going so great. And once again, we're supporting the Catskills. You're not just supporting the show, you're supporting the Catskills.
That's an elite list of people right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Top notch. I love those. They're so awesome.
When you get a chance, check out Desert City Radio. They got a cool music feed online. So
Yeah.
if you have some spare time, click into it, throw your headphones on or your ear pods, whatever, and listen to it. Some pretty esoteric stuff.
Definitely. And you should also check out Outdoor Chronicles Photography. Molly specializes in adventure couple photography and she'll immortalize your moments amidst the stunning landscapes of the Catskills, Adirondacks, and the White Mountains. She'll craft timeless images that reflect unique bond in nature's grandeur. Also, you should embark on an unforgettable photographic journey with Outdoor Chronicles Photography. Don't hesitate to get a hold of Molly on every single platform. Also, what you need to do is discover the wilderness with Trailbound Project. Our expert-led hiking, backpacking education programs offer unparalleled outdoor experiences. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned adventurer, join us to learn essential skills, explore stunning trails, and connect with nature. Start your journey today with Trailbound Project and unlock the wonders of the great outdoors. All right, who's having something to drink tonight? Anybody?
Oh yeah.
What are you having, David?
All right. So I got fancy ahead of our meeting together and made myself an espresso martini, just because I am a bit of a coffee snob.
Well then.
And then I have a backup beer just because I know how concise you like to make these podcasts. But
Yes.
just in case it runs over, I've got a beer as well.
It will.
Just one, David?
Did I miscount?
Yeah. You might
Please.
need a 6-pack
Yeah.
of 18 ounces. Just saying.
Correct.
We can do it.
Ted, how about you, sir?
All right. It takes me a little while. Opening a can of beer is difficult, but I think I'm ready.
Oh yeah. So David, sorry. Go ahead, Ted. You crack it.
I got you.
I got nothing there.
No, you got it.
Okay. Good.
That was good. That was tough, Ted. Good job, David. Oh, that was a little bit. It wasn't too much.
You're gonna
But
have
it's
to
also
yeah. He has to shotgun it and open another. That's the new rule.
that is. I mean, it's also we have dedicated microphones here. So, all right. So I
I'll
guess
just put it in the AirPod.
yeah.
Next time I'll crack it right into the AirPod.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just do that right in the middle of your interview, and then we'll We'll do that. All right. Excellent. So I have a 1911 orange creamsicle. So 1911. I had a lot of 1911s this weekend when I saw 311 and Dirty Heads up in Syracuse. They didn't have really much. So 1911 honeycomb was my drink of choice, and it was great.
So Dave has two drinks to tell us about.
Now I'm double fisting officially. So I guess the podcast is underway. This beer is really neat. I saw it and I had to get it. It's Sloop Brewing. It's a local Hudson Valley brewing company, but they are doing a collab with the Appalachian Trail Conference.
Cool.
So all proceeds of this go towards building, maintaining trails throughout New England.
What was it again?
It's a Sloop Brewing.
How do you spell that?
SLOOP.
Oh, okay.
Like a boat.
You've probably seen their beers. They've got their Juice Bomb IPAs.
Oh,
but
yes.
This is a nice, like, hazy, very session mellow IPA.
Yeah. So if you can't get out and do trail maintenance, just pound like
Just
six.
crack a.
or
As I
dozen.
said, I don't even need to go out anymore. I'm doing my part right here, drinking.
Yeah.
Nice.
As if he's got the pruners in one hand and the beer in the other.
Right. Fancy in one hand and then hardcore hiker trash in the other. I love it.
Yeah.
But that was not the most interesting drink that David had. He did admit that he's double fisting here. So what's in the other hand?
The other hand is a
fancy martini.
My fancy espresso martini. I like my. We talked about the Cascades already. So Cascadia Coffee Roasters out in the North Cascades makes the perfect espresso bean. So I get those shipped to me, and I make espresso martinis when I can't be in the Cascades.
Gotcha.
Nice. Tad, what about you, buddy?
Okay, so I have a Equilibrium Double India Pale Ale out of Middletown, New York. It's a 8.0 on the Richter scale, and it's just kind of a smooth and mellow IPA.
Nice.
Smooth and mellow 8% beer.
Yeah, 8%.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I did see one at the beer store the other day, and I'm going to grab it next time I'm in there.
It's only 6.9.
Yeah, it's like double figures. It's like, I think 11 or 12%. Right. It says right on the side, don't open this can near an open flame.
Have you been seeing those reels that are going around of the guys drinking this IPA and they're like, dude, I love this IPA. And they're like, it's so good.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's so good. It's that's me, but that's me. But so excellent. Not everybody's having something good, little stuff like that. So how about we break it into the oh yeah, sorry. So the Are You Really Outdoors? So mention the podcast, one of your hikes through social media, and we will chat about it at the show. Tag us by typing at ITL Catskill MTM podcast on your post. So let's start it off. Kate Henderson Hikes was out in Indian Head and Twin when the smoke started to roll in. So it was pretty cool. She started at the AQI, the air quality index, was 63. Then later, upon summiting, it was 131, and they ended it with 160. So said that plenty was harsh on the eyes, sinuses, and throat, and she was feeling it as they went up and down the mountain, and it was affecting basically their respiratory system. And that, once again, you might think it's not too bad, but it does get difficult. I went up a little mountain on the day that it was around like 200, not a little mountain, so it was like 25 feet of elevation gain, a half a mile. But like, seriously, it's just so weird that you can actually feel it, smell it, stuff like that. It's so odd. And and then after,
but
go
before
ahead.
we go on, kudos to Kate. She's like a little over a year post her ankle fracture, her trimel fracture. And if you check out her Instagram feed, she is hiking up a storm. So it looks like she had a pretty good recovery from that. I'm sure she's still got some aches and pains, but she's getting out there and bagging a lot of peaks. So kudos to her.
Definitely. And she was with Shayna, Shay 15. X was up on with Kate, saying that the eerie smoke filled the day with different emotions. And then she also almost ran over a porcupine on trail. So they were probably just sprinting along, and that little porky ran across. That would have been fun. That would have been great to hear about a rescue. You have Kate that gets the trimel fracture, and then Shayna that has to get a porcupine punches pulled out of her. So that'd be fun. We'll have her on the show.
Might be better than getting attacked by or possibly attacked by a mountain lion.
Yeah, I wonder what they were thinking. Like, oh, maybe this is good enough. So now get on to the crazy hiker of the week, probably year. Scott, Catskill Mountains Brew, was up in New Hampshire and did Wildcat D, Wildcat A, Carter Dome, South Carter, Middle Carter, and Mariah. And then went on a hike with Beyond Blazes and Cam 5 and did South Hancock on a rest day. Then wrapped it up with Flume, Liberty, Lincoln, and Lafayette. And then did the Tri-Pyramids with Joanne and stop at Sabadaday Falls. I know I must have missed some of those because he said he did, I think it was 28 peaks or 25 peaks in a matter of 7 days. Up in the New Hampshire 48. Insane.
Yeah, he's up there crushing some mega, as they say in the whites.
Yeah, what's his name? Crush those peaks. Yeah. David, you're a 48er, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. How would you describe the 48 up there? Amazing.
Oh, it's phenomenal. The bang for your buck is great. You're not trudging through Adirondack mud. The trails are well cared for. There's ample parking. What? That's hard to come by in New York. It's a good time.
Well, if there's ample parking, it almost sounds boring.
Yeah, right. You
don't have to get up at 3 a.m. just to get a parking space.
And you call that hiking, and you don't even get your boots muddy?
Right, yeah.
Forget about it.
I told some person that New Hampshire is basically the Catskills, like times 2. They have the I mean, the elevation gains are double of the Catskills, and they have of course alpine zones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it just feels like the trails are very similar, like just rocky mess, absolute mess that is just straight up,
but not an Adirondack mess.
Not freaking mud and freaking going through trudges, stuff like that. I find the whites to be my second favorite home besides the Catskills, and it's just like the Catskills.
It's pleasant, and the Catskills is pleasant. Yeah.
And then the Adirondacks suck. Not really. They're great. I've heard they're
fun to hate.
Yes. Scott said that he loves New Hampshire because the trails are awesome and they're steep and stuff, but he also loves the Adirondacks because the Adirondacks have those crazy scrambles that
I was going to say, maybe unpopular opinion, but I think that the Adirondacks are the sexier mountains to look at, to be in. They're just those slides. They're phenomenal.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Sexier mountains. I like that.
Sexy.
I like that. Yeah, we have all the stuff. So Joanne was with Scott, was also in New Hampshire. She tagged us when she was coming down Lafayette. Cam 5 was up with Scott. She also tagged different mountains like Wambach, Flume, Liberty, Lincoln, and Lafayette. Then did Field, Willie, and Tom. And sorry, Cam, if I missed a post. Once again, you guys were crushing it up there. And I trying to keep up. And then once again, I miss this. I trying to spell it. Patapsco Bakery was up on Rusk. And this is new one. And apparently they posted us, or they tagged us a while back, and I totally missed that. So I apologize, and especially if I got your name wrong from your tag. Patapsco Bakery was up on Rusk. Also, Vicky VF49 was rappelling with Stay Rad climbing. I heard about that last week. She tagged us last second. So amazing once again that we're connecting these people to Stay Rad climbing, to different organizations and stuff. Stay Rad climbing is awesome. So if you want to do some climbing stuff, get a hold of them and they can definitely hook you up. Serena Marie 46er was up on Hopkins in the Adirondacks on a smoky hot day, and then did the famous east side of Blackhead, and then a couple days later she went up on a Zor fire tower. So Serena's getting out and about. Todd T-Bolts Outdoor went to a local spot for some therapy. Once again, condolences, Todd, on your father. Glad once again you went up and had some alone time with your dad and hopefully enjoyed the view, and he was there with you. So Todd is amazing. So also, new one, I think, James John O'Boyle was up in Siamese Pod Wilderness and did a chill overnight on Puffer Pond from the 13th Lake. Awesome. Once again, hearing a new person is big smile to my face, as you can see.
Have you guys been up in Siamese Ponds Wilderness?
I've seen it from Goodnow Mountain, I think,
Okay,
but I haven't.
phenomenal area. One of my favorite areas in the Adirondacks. Just
Oh, yeah.
beautiful. And like you said, once you get past like the first lake, whatever, 13th lake, it is very chill and very quiet. Crowds dissipate, but yeah, beautiful area and like totally different vibe than the high peaks.
Nice. Well, good,
Yeah.
cool. We'll have to. I'm not going to promote that. No, that's all to us. We're cutting that part off.
Yeah, that's for us.
Yeah. So Lisa Chaotic Kozatic did Mount Lucianta in Bramley, and then also tagged Colvin and Blake on a super hot day. And then she had her rest day going up Big Slide and watching the sunset over Heart Lake. Man, I do like 2 hikes in a week, and I feel accomplished. And these people are doing like 8 to 10 hikes in a matter of 2 days. I don't think I should be running the show.
Well, I think these folks are getting in these super long hikes because they have super long podcast episodes to listen to. So it lets
Correct.
them, leg out and do longer hikes, multi-day hikes. Because if this was a half an hour podcast,
True.
maybe they would just be hiking at the local town park. So by having these 3-hour marathon sessions, we're kind of, bringing it to a new level for them to go out and bang out, 46 or 48 peaks in one shot.
Yeah, one freaking day.
I'm just saying, we're a couple days, I'm just saying. Like,
True. All right. So hiker Joey NY did Mount Colden via Lake Arnold on a beautiful day. Chrissy G was up in the Adirondacks. One thing I appreciate everybody tagging us when they're out of the Catskills. This is great. Chrissy G was up in Rainbow Falls.
You say that, but when you scan back over the list, less than half of the hikes, maybe a third, are in the Catskills.
Yes.
A lot of them are in the ADK or New Hampshire. Okay. So I'm just
Well,
pointing that out.
It's dry, so they got to get up there before all this mud shit happens. And I mean, the mud happened in the spring, but like they're like, God, we got to hit these now, or it's gonna suck. Like David knows that. You're a 46er, aren't you?
Yep.
What aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no. So he's. I get the impression David's done so many lists that he had to make up his own. Guilty.
You're
Just say
not
guilty.
wrong. You're
Guilty
not
as
wrong.
charged.
I like a good list. There's been a couple lists that I've done where I'm like, man, I could do better than that.
There you go.
But yeah,
Nice.
no, I do like a list.
And she was also up at Rosa Gap Fire Tower too. So once again, I appreciate everybody tagging us outside of the Catskills. Andy Brownski hiked Hook Mountain from Nyack Beach and saw copperhead and cacti, rare cacti. So that's pretty cool, David. You've been up there.
That's on my list. That's on my list. Hook Mountain.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Well,
Yes.
It looks like Andy's doing the list.
And he's on his way.
He wants
I'm
that
stealing
patch.
all of your followers.
I hope so. Dude, I love it. I think it's phenomenal. And last but not least, Mike at Red Hand Adventure Guides did Indian Head Lake in the Adirondacks. So everybody's up enjoying the beautiful Adirondacks. So I think they wanted to stay out the air quality of the Catskills. So don't blame them. I do not blame
By
them.
going closer to the fire, yes, that works.
Yeah. Well, that's how our listeners think.
The fires
Yeah.
were out west. They were northwest.
No, yeah.
But if you listen to enough of these episodes, you actually think that water flows uphill and that the
True.
laws of physics don't exist when you're hiking uphill.
There's very rare occurrences that it does flow north, and that's the Schoharie Creek. Did you know that?
Yeah. The river right in front of my house flows north.
Yeah, see, it's crazy. There's very few. There's very few. But anyway, wow. All right, I just it's idiot on my forehead. But anyway, so if you want to buy us a hard cider to support the show, do it by going on buymeacoffee.com. Buy us a hard cider. I renamed it. And thank you, Alex Ramo, for the 3 hard ciders after his awesome episode last week talking about doing the Catskill, trying the Catskill Diatissima, and unfortunately having to bail. So we were looking forward to seeing you do this again. So we'll have you probably on the show again. He said he's definitely not done.
3's a charm.
Yeah. Also, rate the show. 5 stars or more is what we accept.
Yeah.
That's it. I will deny anything else. Rate them anywhere. So, previous hikes. David, what do you got for us? What are you up to?
Ooh. So it's been pretty feast famine for my hiking this year. We've done a lot of big things, and then in between, it's just local, keeping tabs on my mountains. So this past weekend, I was in the Hudson Highlands checking out something that's in the works that we can talk about later. Some peaks that will be on the website soon, and some new things that are happening on those mountains, like kind of hot off the press.
Ooh.
So I was doing some recon this weekend in the Hudson Highlands.
Oh, stay tuned. Everybody's,
Yeah,
because most of
Yeah.
them are from the Hudson, so the Hudson Valley, are on the edge of their seat, like, oh shit, a new list. Let's go.
Yeah, he just baited the whole audience.
yeah.
Everybody's
Definitely.
like, turning up the volume right now.
So
getting ready.
without going into absolute crazy detail, David, what was your last like peak that you went to? Like, I'm not saying like Catskills out or anywhere. What was your last like you and Baki did?
So recently, so I mean, I get out every day to hike our local hills around here. So I mean, even just today, I was out in the woods. But over the weekend, I was in a reservation in the eastern Hudson Valley called Ward Pound Ridge Reservation.
Nice.
Awesome private area. It's not state land. It's a part of the county. I think it's the county's largest park. But yeah, so there's some cool things happening in that reservation that will greatly change hiking
Cool.
for the area.
That's so
So
awesome.
I wanted to see it with my own eyes, and I did.
Yeah, cool. So how about you, Ted? You wanted to state this, this is good.
My excursions, I'll just start off by framing them as excursions recently, have had me ponder what it is that actually is a hike as opposed to going for a walk. So when I was out on Saturday and Sunday, I kind of did the same hike both days. Mohonk, Minnewaska is just a stone's throw from where I live. So I drove over there Saturday and the rain came, so I didn't do the full loop. But on Sunday, I went over and I did the undercarriage loop, which is about 5.4 miles. But I wondered if I was really hiking doing that, because I mean, it's as much as you can manicure a trail. Yeah, you could take a baby stroller on this. Okay. Traction's never a problem. You really don't need any special gear or anything of that nature. And it's not much different than my walks up the road at the local town park over the same pretty much, crushed stone, imported stone surface. And so I looked up when I got back, I looked up on Google AI, and they have like this whole thing, as they typically do with anything you ask Google AI, but they have like this whole like decision tree you go through to decide when it's a hike and when you're just out for a walk. And if you wanted to spend 20 minutes going through that decision tree, we could, but I thought I'd just kind of speed it along and took the executive summary that they give you in terms of distinguishing between a walk and a hike. So it says, Google AI says, if you can do it comfortably in regular street shoes, which I was wearing, without carrying water, and I wasn't carrying water, or looking at a map, and I wasn't looking at a map, it's almost certainly a walk. The moment you need a trail tread shoe, extra prep, an eye on elevation, a map, things of that nature, special gear, you're on a hike. So it comes, does it really you're wearing? Are those people that climb Sugarloaf and the Catskills wearing their Ked sneakers and carrying maybe a water bottle at best, but not a map or anything else? Are they walking? Are they walking? But Stosh, because he's got 55 pounds of unnecessary gear, is he hiking when he walks through the Walmart parking lot in his hiking boots? I mean,
you never know.
I guess it's really subjective. So yeah, apparently I haven't been hiking. I've only been walking. If you were to ask Google AI, but what I did do is this weekend was symbolic for the first time in almost 2 months that I kind of stepped on a trail for what might be a hike or might not be a hike, but it certainly felt good to get out there and do something other than the local town park.
Nice.
So that's my story. I'm going to have a swig of my IPA and you can move along.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, right, dude. It's all about, gaining steps, gaining little traction on what's going on. You had a traumatic injury, and now it's, you're coming back. You're coming back to life. You're starting to get out.
And now I hike with those little slip-on shoes that I put on with my long shoehorn because I can't bend down and tie shoelaces.
I am 43 years old, and I have done that before. All right, shut up.
No, so now that I think about it, maybe when I go on the next walk/hike, I should bring my shower stool with me in case I have to dig a cat hole and stuff.
That's a little out there.
Is it out there? All
Or
right,
a diaper.
So yeah,
Or a diaper.
yeah.
Hey, real men don't hike in diapers, okay?
Yeah, right. So now that you say that, I can't say that I was on a previous hike. So I had previous walks.
You did a walk? A walk? Yeah.
Well, yeah, after concert, which was Sunday, so that's the usual day off. We went and saw 311 and the Dirty Heads, reggae stuff. I mean, most people know
pretty cool.
311 Dirty Heads are phenomenal. David, I hate to ask this, but was Coheed and Cambria tonight?
It was. We decided against it because they weren't opening.
Thank God. Okay, I was just like, I thought of that, and I was like, fuck, I hope I didn't fucking schedule. But
No.
Good. So after that, Jessica was just like, I know that right around the corner is Green Lakes. Let's try that. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, Green Lakes. If anybody's ever heard of Green Lakes up in Syracuse, it's a very unique lake. So this lake
is that super deep glacial lake.
Yes.
That the water doesn't really circulate.
Yep.
Stays cold. Okay, I know the place.
Over 197 feet deep. And once again, like you said, it doesn't mix. So this is a nice turquoise blue color, not like your glacial fed lakes, glacial flower stuff that you have in the Cascades and Canada. But it has an amazing tint to it that is just unreal. Beautiful 2-mile flat paved stroll around the whole lake. Beautiful day, 74 degrees. At one end, you can swim in it. At the other ends, you can't because, this is I found out this is the most heavily studied lakes in the world. That they study the crap out of this because once again, they have we had Syracuse, Corning, a bunch of awesome universities up here that study this. And it's just also so rare. Like this is one of the rarest forms of lakes in the world that they study it. And it was just really cool to be there. It was a Monday. It wasn't too crowded and it was fun. They have, just places, you can stop and take a rest, take pictures, cool little areas that look like, once again, like there's a part that you see and then it just drops off, complete drop. So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I do want to jump in. And all over the place it says no swimming. I'm like, oh, damn it. But it was pretty cool. And then after that, we went down to 20 minutes away south to that Shittenango Falls, 197-foot waterfall. That is just right off of the frickin' road in some gorge, and that's it. Like it seriously is nice and flat river, and then it's a massive waterfall that, a half a mile, like a quarter of a mile hike total. Beautiful, beautiful spot. Got to see it was flowing nicely. And then we came home and passed out because we were tired. I mean, it's a lot of drinking for Dirty Heads and 311. 311 has been around since the early 90s. I've been a fan of theirs since Homebrew, since stuff like that. That's 1993. And then they came out with 311 like down. Their self-titled is 1995. Yikes. And they're still killing it with the same exact lineup that they had from the beginning. You very rarely hear that all those band members had stayed together for that long of a time. So
where'd you see the show?
Up at the Lakeview Amphitheater right outside of the State Fairgrounds.
Okay.
I recommend that.
That sounds like a cool venue.
Definitely. Indoors, half indoors, and then it has the lawn, just like the SPAC up in, just like Bethel Woods, Okay, but I think this is a little bit cooler because it has, we weren't in the pit area, but they have a pit area. So you can go up there and stand. Just phenomenal time.
Sweet.
So,
and did the missus enjoy herself? Did she have a good time?
Definitely did. And
awesome.
She enjoyed not climbing high peaks like I recommend. Yes. Yeah, so
Cool.
we'll get her back into that. So awesome. So I mean, besides, we were all not really on hikes, so that's
Well, I
ridiculous.
don't know. For me, it was, it was as close to a hike as I'm going to get to for a while. So
Correct.
I'm going to call it a hike. I could give a shit what Google AI calls it. To me, that was one hell of a hike, man.
Good.
And the scenery is gorgeous there. So
Oh yeah.
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 Definitely. So good. Catskill News, Volunteer, New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, Catskill 3500 Club, Catskill Trail Crew, Catskill Mountain Club, Visitors Center, Jolly Rovers Trail Crew, Bambly Mountain Fire Tower. Anywhere you can volunteer, please do it. If you need stickers, get a hold of me. They are free. And then we'll talk about some stickers later on with this special guy. So let's break it into the amazingly inaccurate weather forecast. Here is your weekend weather forecast, sponsored by, but not really sponsored by. Check out Far and High Outdoor Co. We'll be talking with David later on about his awesome stickers of Catskill Canister, Catskill 35 elevation signs, and a bunch of others for the Catskills. Definitely recommend checking them out. So, for this weekend, expect a beautiful weekend for climbing high peaks. On Friday, July 24th, expect clear skies throughout the day, a high of 63, a low of 57, and wind chills only reaching down to 54 degrees at nighttime. Beautiful day to be out hiking. On Saturday, July 25th, expect clear skies again with a high of 64, a low of 57, and wind chills only going down to 55 degrees. Beautiful day to be out. On Sunday, July 26th, expect clear skies in the morning, breaking to some clouds in the afternoon and to possible rain showers at night. A high of 64, a low of 61, and a wind chill going down to 59 degrees. Beautiful weekend to get out and grab some peaks anywhere in New York. Just remember when you are out there to be safe, be prepared, and don't become tomorrow's rescue story. Have at it, fellas. So let's get on to the last set of sponsors, and then we'll get on to David. So, discover Camp Catskill in Tannersville, your ultimate hiking store. Find top quality gear, apparel, and accessories for all your outdoor adventures. Our expert staff is here to help every hiker from beginners to seasoned pros. We also carry a unique variety of Catskill souvenirs and gifts. Visit us online at campcatskill.co or in the store to gear up for your next journey. Adventure starts at Camp Catskills. Also, embark on a transformative journey with Another Summit. Another Summit is dedicated to serving veterans and first responders with free outdoor activities. Activities like walks in nature, paddling, hiking, and even backpacking. Join a supportive community to rejuvenate in nature's embrace. Experience camaraderie, adventure, and healing at no cost. Take your next step with Another Summit and ascend to new heights of resilience and joy. Apply today at anothersummit.org. Let's get on to the guest of the night.
Let's go.
So David Perez, creator of New York Downstate 28. I've messed that up all the time, David. I'm so sorry.
It's a mouthful. It is.
New York Downstate 28 challenge in the downstate area, of course, Hudson Valley region. We're talking about a new challenge that could connect people with the mountains, start them off with the mountains, and then get them introverted maybe into the high peaks and stuff like that. But David's starting it all with us, and he's here with us tonight to talk about that challenge. So welcome to the show, David. How you doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm on the kind of behind the scenes where the sausage is made. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
So Here I am in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I want to call it the hot seat, but you've had the espresso martini.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why I've got the hot seat. I made it quite strong, but
same. I don't have air conditioning in here, so I'm like, God damn, I'm sweating. I look ridiculous. So, I mean, now Baki, your wife was on the on like the 5th episode, so she has our organization out there. Is that still going?
Yeah, for sure. It's actually pretty much defined the last 3-4 years of her life. So when she was on podcast, she was talking about her at the time brand spanking new nonprofit, Climb, Heal, Overcome, that connects people that were victims of sexual and domestic assault with transformative outdoor adventures, especially rock climbing and mountaineering. And that work that she's done through that organization has pretty much changed her entire trajectory of going back to school, getting her master's in psychology, and informing the work that she plans on doing for a very long time. So yeah, she's doing great things, and maybe it's all as a benefit to your podcast and all the people that heard it.
I did like I tried out. I don't want to break away from that, but I would just like to say, you have been involved with the podcast. You and Baki have been involved with the podcast almost ever since the beginning. So I really appreciate that. Once again, it's phenomenal to hear the connections that is made between us and the podcast and with Baki and what you guys do. I know you're a big part of that, so I appreciate what you do and stuff like that. And that's great to hear. Good, congratulates Baki. I really appreciate it. So now I want to get into digging into a little background about yourself. Now, we've chatted about you. You've kind of been all over the place. So let's start out your beginning or your early life and stuff like that. How'd you get into this crazy Catskills, or not Catskill, goddamn Mount Hood?
You know what though? The Catskills is pretty much where it started. So I mean, I did not grow up an outdoorsy kid. We were city folks through and through. As a matter of fact, I really wouldn't say that I was in the outdoors until college. I took a bunch of biology courses and this ecology course that had us out in the woods behind William Patterson University every day, and we turned over rocks and looked for frogs and identified trees, and I had an absolute blast. It was in that moment that I was like, okay, I need to play outside more, and that kind of just shifted the trajectory for me. I was outdoors from then on, full-grown adult, looking for frogs, but yeah, since then it was just a passion, just being outside. And then I feel like I took the trajectory that a lot of people in the kind of greater metro area take. They start hiking in their local hills and move to things like the Hudson Highlands, and then they just keep traveling upstate New York and find themselves in the Catskills, where it's a slippery slope, and then you're hooked.
And is that what got you like hooked on to, you moved from downstate Catskills and then you moved to Adirondack, New Hampshire. And then from there on, it was a goddamn, I don't even know what to call
that's what it is. It's just a cascade of events. I mean, I remember one of our first hikes that Bucky and I took together. One cool thing is that we pretty much fell in love with the mountains together. Before that, I was just doing little parks and, like I said, looking for frogs. But I mean, we used to go out and just catch frogs and name salamanders and have a blast like that. But we took a hike in the Hudson Valley called Storm King Mountain. And from there, you can, on a clear day, which we had, you can see the Catskills and perfectly the silhouette of the Eastern Devil's Path. And I was like, we need to go there. And we did. And we just been going back ever since.
It's amazing that people, will see it from Storm King and then, will think that to go up there, they climb one peak and then like, we'll go up to the Adirondacks, and they totally, either that or people totally skip the Catskills and just go straight up the Adirondacks just because they're higher, because there's more exposure and stuff like that. So it's, I'm glad you came over to the Catskills and enjoyed it.
For sure. And it was funny when we first went to the Catskills, we're like, wow, we're going to climb Slide Mountain. And I was like, wait a minute. We are out of our league. That's Slide Mountain. That's the highest peak in the Catskills. We better rein it in a little bit. So we did Hunter. We're like, we're not ready for the highest peak. We'll do Hunter. So we went up Hunter Becker Hollow. And it was a butt kicking kind of trial, baptism by fire into the Catskills.
Nice.
I'd say that's harder than going up Slide from the Jeep Trail.
Well, ignorance is bliss. We didn't know any better. We had a blast in our jeans, just right up to the top.
And our jeans, nice. Yeah, I didn't even hike in jeans. I hike in khakis, but I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, at
nice.
least, but going up Hunter Mountain, the payoff is better when you get to the summit because you have the fire tower.
Mhm.
And then afterwards, I think there's better eateries, within a few miles of your car from Becker
Sure,
Hollow
yeah.
than at Slide. That's not to say, I mean, what is it? The Slide Mountain Inn has a little pizza place inside. They got great pizza there. So,
Ooh,
whatever.
upstate pizza.
Yeah. Now, you have also, you've done the Catskills. We talked about you being a 48er and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, you've been all over North America. Like,
Yeah.
where have you been? You Cascades, you've done Mount Hood. I remember you recently did a backpacking excursion over like off of the coast of California, correct?
We've done a few. So maybe you're thinking the Trans Catalina Trail. That's off the coast of Southern California. Phenomenal backpacking trip. Very pedestrian, wonderful, like first time backpack because it's set up for backpacking. And just a wild ride. It's so California because you take a expensive ferry across and then you're kind of in the wilds, but there's resorts at your resupply, so it's just and there's bison on the island. It's just a weird, cool vibe.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, no, we've been fortunate to do a lot of traveling. Like I said, it was a slippery slope from the Catskills. We haven't slowed down since. And when we ran out of things to do around here, we set our sights out west and more lists. I said we like to do lists, so there's always a list coming up and growing.
Are you doing like the what is it, continuous 48 like highest or stuff?
So Bhakti is. We decided pretty early on that we wanted to visit the high point in every state, not knowing at the time what that entailed. And that started with New York. I mean, you're standing on top of Mount Marcy in New York, and you're like, okay, this is the highest peak in New York. And from there, you can, on a clear day, you can make out Vermont, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll go to the high point of Vermont. And you just keep hopping along, and next thing you know, you're knee deep in a challenge that will take the better part of a lifetime and require a skill set in its own right. So we've been doing that. That's informed a lot of our travel, is doing the high points of every state. And it's been one of the most rewarding experiences that we could have imagined, just visiting the country and seeing people and place with our own eyes, especially, now in today's climate, everything's hearsay and everyone has an opinion on stuff. So to get out and see our country with your own eyes is really empowering and very restored faith in humanity. So it's been a wild ride for sure.
Wow.
So let's pick it up from there. You've been all these places. You're working on hiking the highest point in each and every state, which I assume either has included or will include Hawaii, which
Yes,
kind of
it's one of the
sounds
ones we need.
exotic, and then eventually going to Alaska. Right? Okay.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
so far, where is it that you have been that has been the most empowering, most eye-opening, most awakening place that you've been? And you can say, if you want, you can say Double Top Mountain. We would understand that, and you could just move on. Or you could go with something more esoteric than Double Top.
Well, I think that one of the neat things about doing a challenge like that is the variety of place. The U.S. is so varied. So the variety of place is just so unique that you can kind of have your mini epiphanies over and over and over again. We never thought that we would enjoy the Midwest as much as we have. We never thought that we would enjoy the desert Southwest as much as we've had. So yeah, it's been just a wonderful ride. There's very little that we haven't enjoyed, and we can talk about the ones that weren't enjoyable, but by and large, yeah.
So let's, not in general terms, but why don't we, in like some specific instances, relate to our listeners those places. And I do, you said the Southwest. My older daughter, who's very well traveled, both domestically and around, I'm not going to say the globe, but several continents now. She says the most fantastic place on earth is the Southwest, particularly Death Valley. So where is it that you found is like the most in the, we'll say, the continental United States, the most eye-opening, off the chart, jaw-dropping experience that you've had that you would love to go back to? Where is that place? And why was it so transformative?
Sure. It would probably have to be somewhere in Utah. I know that earlier in this podcast, I said that I love the Pacific Northwest and the North Cascades. That does have my heart. But Utah is, I think, everything about America kind of squished into a little square. And no matter which way you go, there is just the most epic adventure. I mean, you head south from Salt Lake City and you got the Grand Canyon. You head east and you got the Wasatch. You head west and you've got like just endless Nevada mountains. Nevada is the most mountainous state in the U.S. You go north and you're in just crazy Idaho terrain. It makes your head spin just how varied it is. Because I mean, here in the Northeast, I can drive for 6.5 hours to get to the White Mountains, and those mountains, they look like a bigger version of the mountains that I passed getting to it. But when you go to Utah, you just pick a direction, and it's going to be entirely different.
Yeah, I totally get that. I spent that time last year out in I'm going to say Death Valley National Park and beyond, which is Death Valley National Park is a number of valleys, not just Death Valley.
Yes.
And you in one day can go through 3 different valleys and, different mountain ranges. And it's so diverse and so unique and just so different than what you encounter on the East Coast. But let's go back to the East Coast then with you, David.
Yes.
You've been all these tremendous places, and then you come back always to the East Coast where you live, and you hike extensively in the East Coast, particularly, and I'm going to call it the mid-Hudson Valley. And what I would like to hear from you, given these diverse hiking experiences, is there any difference amongst the hikers, the hiking etiquette in the Hudson Valley? From
you can
elsewhere?
Be truthful. Be truthful.
Yes. There's nobody's listening now. Just speak freely. How are Hudson Valley hikers different, if at all, from hikers elsewhere?
So I think that Hudson Valley hikers are, and I'm sorry to brag, but I think Hudson Valley hikers are the best hikers. I think they're the most motivated hikers. We know that being in the mountains takes work. And that's why you get all of your amazing fans that, they live in the Hudson Valley, and they're willing to drive a portion of their weekend just to sink their teeth into something worthwhile. So I think that the Hudson Valley breeds a lot of very motivated hikers, talented athletes, well-rounded human beings that just have a good head on their shoulders. I mean, we live in the most populous place, and you spend your time very close in proximity to a lot of other people. And I think your worldview becomes as big as this place. So yes, you get a lot of truly kind people that do really epic shit.
Yeah. And, I'd like to kind of echo on that is just, a lot of when you have the most populous place, we have a lot of influence here, once someone gets out and, goes upon, like you said, Storm King Mountain, they move themselves upon your challenge with the Catskills and stuff. They kind of influence the other people about Leave No Trace. We have the most impact on that to where, like you said, out west, you have, Salt Lake City, like people might get
not
down.
Hikers. It's, I mean, despite being within a half hour of 10,000 foot alpine mountains, it's not a hiking city.
Yeah.
Very Mormon city, but not a hiking vibe, different vibe.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I think that the greater metro area is very in tune with the mountains because we're among the mountains, as small as they may be. We're right on top of these hills. And we don't even think about it. When you think about the Catskills, you picture mountains, but like we have rugged terrain here too. We just don't battle ash. We embrace the rock and go up.
Yeah, and then that's way different than the out west. Out west has it easy, right? You got to admit, David.
So
Don't deny it.
I mean, they appreciate a good switchback for sure out west. It's different.
It
Apples
is.
and oranges.
Yeah.
It is,
I do
but
love-
still, like you go to take somebody out west. We're talking, Sierras, switchbacks galore, stuff like that, and then you bring them out here to the whites, to where you got to fucking battle 3,000 foot elevation gains in 2 miles. Like that is a bitch with rocks, slippery rock. I love telling people that. Like I mean, you have been out there more than than I have, but still, like nothing. The Northeast sucks. Like you're like, God damn, these switchbacks are nice. These steps are nice, and then you got the Northeast where you're like, God damn, going up to the Guillote shelter or frickin' stuff like that is just the battle in itself.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a wildly different terrain. Our old mountains, they're weathered and they don't take no shit.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
we don't give a shit. We're telling people that you got to battle this mountain to get this peak,
Oh yeah.
or you're not going to get it at all. So suck it up, go out west, grab some 14,000 footer that you can get, and try to battle this 6,000 footer out here that has the most craziest weather in the world. Suck it. All right. So Tad, let's you can go on with this Hudson Valley. This is you. The Hudson Valley stuff is you. This is not my stuff.
Yeah.
So
I was excited to see that he's local.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm local to the Hudson Valley, but I don't do much hiking in the Hudson Valley. That's why I have these Hudson Valley centric questions, because it intrigues me. Given that I'm kind of like 50-50 in terms of I could drive to Harriman State Park and those areas like west of or east of the Hudson River and hike there. Or right in my backyard is the Gunks, which I rarely go to anymore, other than now that I'm recovering from an injury and I'm doing these walks, if you will. And I'm drawn to because of the convenience and this like the intimacy of the deep woods, the boreal forests of the Catskills. But I have gone a few times into Harriman State Park and the surrounds to hike, and I do pick up a different vibe. And it is it's a completely different wooded area than the Catskills to me. The effects of the glacier there, are just noticeably different. But one of the things I'd like to know is if in the progression, let's say, of my recovery, if I start going over and maybe the next challenge I knock off is the Downstater 28. What is it that I don't normally have when I go Catskill hiking that I would bring with me hiking in the mid Hudson and lower Hudson Valley? What's as I put it on the list here, what is the 11th essential to bring?
I think it would be a second hike.
Nice.
Like a double header, 2 a day. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, and that's multifaceted. You've got one, it's a busy place. So parking's not guaranteed. Although I did try to account for that in my challenge. And then two, a lot of these peaks are smaller. They're pretty uniform in size. So a lot of the peaks are in the 900 to 1600 foot range. Most of them do require about 1,000 vertical, give or take. Just because there's a lot of prominence here. A lot of these peaks, they jut up out of the Hudson and they just go straight up. But yeah, you got that it's uniform. Yeah.
I think the 11th essential of anybody would be a hard cider or a beer, right?
That's true too.
I mean, especially.
Well, yeah. So speaking kind of like of ciders, we'll talk about fluids. I think on the East Coast, I don't think it's such a big thing, at least when I was with my daughter in the Death Valley area. It wasn't a thing at all. But on the East Coast, it's very much a thing to be not necessarily forest fire conscious, but bug conscious. There was it gnat season, black fly season, mosquito season. What is the bug situation in the Hudson Valley, particularly the 28 hikes that are on your list? What do we need to be on guard for in terms of bugs? What's the bug seasons? Give us the lowdown on bugs and hiking in the Hudson Valley.
Well, we have the same climate as the Catskills on a micro scale. So when the bugs are bad in the Catskills, they were probably bad 3 weeks ago in the Hudson Valley, and on a smaller scale. You're not going to get eaten alive, and that may be just because you're moving through the terrain a little bit faster too. Bugs never bother me just because I'm fast. you can outrun most bugs.
True.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of the same. I think that's one nice thing, is that you're not going to be in over your head in the Hudson Valley, especially if you're already hiking in the Catskills. It's going to feel very comfortable. It's going to feel a little bit more urban. You know, from just about every 28er in the park, you can see the Manhattan skyline, or you can see your beloved Catskills. Sometimes you can see both.
Or you can hear the motorcycles whizzing by.
Or you can hear if you're climbing West Mountain, for example. Don't expect a good night's sleep at the shelter, because there will be someone doing donuts in the Anthony Wayne Rec area parking lot for sure.
There you go.
But it's a place where people they fall in love with putting in good hard work in the mountains. I think that if we talked about culture, because we have our smaller mountains, you have to work to make a full day in these mountains. So there's a lot of stringing together a lot of peaks, doing big traverses. We have a lot of long distance trails in Harriman, for example. There's shuttle services. So people are, even though the mountains are smaller, they're working hard. And you can work hard. The vertical adds up very quickly. You can get 5,000 and 6,000 foot days in these mountains.
Wow.
You just have to be determined.
Yeah, a lot of people start off, I mean, it sounds weird, but they start off with the Catskills, and then they come back to the Hudson Valley area, and they realize, hey, I just did, like you said, Becker Hollow, 2,200 feet in a matter of 2 miles. What can I do in the Hudson Valley that equals that? And it's like, 3 or 4 of your challenges, or 2 of your challenges.
Yep.
So, I mean, but that's awesome. It's phenomenal. And so now before we get into your challenge, I'm going to show people on this, and I'm going to post this on Instagram because I love this. Your stickers that you have here. Let's see if I can get them. Why isn't that coming up? Look at that, everybody. God damn this sticker. That is a canister.
There. Well, I'm going to hold up. I don't have a beer, but I'll
there it is. Canister, 3,500 club elevation thing. So your new company, Far and High Outdoors Co., sells these beautiful stickers of the Catskill canister and the 3,500 elevation foot sign and a bunch of other stuff on Far Out and High on Etsy. Dude, you told me about this, and I was like, I've never seen a canister on my car, a canister on my freaking my Nalgene bottle. Like, this is amazing. Like, I am so excited about this.
Yep. I had a blast making them. Too.
Are they proportionately sized that they do fit on a Nalgene?
Oh yeah.
Well, so right now they only come in one size, so they better.
Okay.
And they're 3 inches, so they look good on an Nalgene. They'll look a little small on your vehicle, but
that's
I'm going to have
perfect
some. Yeah, I will have some other sizes. There's also going to be some magnets.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having fun with that. My cat may make an appearance. There she is.
Oh, what's the cat's name?
Siren.
Siren.
Yeah.
Nice. So once again, 3,500. God, I don't know why this light is not doing well.
It's got the world's best lighting there.
Yeah, right. Oh well, it's a goddamn selfie thing. But 3,500, the canister, beautiful stuff. Get them on Far and High Outdoor Co. on Etsy.
Yep.
I'll have the link in the show notes. I'm gonna post the link when we post this to social media because I'm super excited about that. Nobody's ever put a canister thing out, and the canister is really important to us hikers of the 3,500 peaks and stuff like that. Signing into the canister is just an accomplishment in itself. Where else do you get to do that besides, David, I know you've been out with those high peaks over down in the western mountains where you have the what are they called?
Ammo cans.
Yeah, up in the middle of nowhere and stuff like who can say that they've been up to Adirondack High Peak or up into Vermont or New Hampshire and signed in and wrote something to the next person and advice. It's great.
They have canisters on a lot of another challenge is that New England 100 highest peaks, and a lot of those are bushwhacks, and they have canisters too, and they suck. They're really thin and puny, and they just don't have the allure. Also, I love the orange of the new canisters. I mean, I remember searching for those gray canisters when I did my 35, but the orange canisters, ooh.
Yeah. You see that, and it's your heartbeat. You're like, yes, nice.
I'm here. I made it.
Yeah. Do you remember your first canister?
Yeah. What was it?
Do I remember my first canister? It was probably something very forgettable, like Eagle or something like that. We were very like take this step by step. You got to go easy before you got to walk before you fly.
Did Eagle have a canister 10 years ago?
I believe it did.
Did it really? Yeah.
I remember signing a canister.
It was probably the gray canisters.
Yeah. My first canister was Hawkett. How about you, Stosh?
Rusk.
Okay.
Rusk was I mean, it was short. It was easy. My first bushwhack without a compass, stuff like that. So check it out. Far and High Outdoors Co. on Etsy. Link will be in the show notes. So let's move on to the crazy topic of the night, the New York Downstate 28 challenge. So this challenge is starting to gain traction. We've had a couple finishers. I know T-Bold, Todd has done it. Jay Kaplow has done it. Joe Kaplowski. What made you think of this challenge? This is pretty important, especially downstate.
Yeah. So, I mean, the easy answer is that, like, why hasn't this already happened? I mean, that there's such a big hiking community in the Hudson Valley. These peaks are climbed by thousands of people every weekend. The fact that it doesn't already exist is kind of mind-boggling. But for me personally, when just, we've been all over the place, but during the pandemic, our world shrank just like everyone else's immensely. And all of a sudden, these mountains that we had looked over to go to, bigger and wilder adventures now were our day to day. They were our lifeline to staying sane, just like everyone else. I mean, everyone was outside. So it was kind of finding these mountains again during the pandemic that made me really realize that connection that I had to these mountains, and want to, maybe even just for me, like kind of immortalize them in some kind of amazing way. And what way have I immortalized a lot of the peaks that I've done is like with these beautiful patches and tackling these lists and challenges. So yeah, it started as a project for me to just see, like, if I could make a little challenge of the highlights of the area, what would that be? And it just grew, and I let it fester. I turned it into reconnaissance missions, looking for the best peaks. I turned over every rock and stone in the Hudson Valley, making this challenge. It took
Don't
years
say that
years.
to the DEC. Don't be saying that.
I turned them back over, but it was a fun labor of love. Just really diving deep into the area after it being something that, was kind of always there for me. Yeah. And something coming out of it, which was the New York Downstate 28.
So how long did it take you to do this kind of work? like your website, reconnaissance, actual like statistics. It takes a while.
For sure. And I'm not good at many things, but I am very calculated. So I do like to do my due diligence and research immensely. So most of it was just that. I started during the pandemic pondering up what something like this would look like, and then went from there. It was in the past 2 years that it really kind of took a nice shape, and then I launched it last year or beginning of this year, actually, maybe. And it's slowly but surely getting some buds now, and I'm excited.
And then you recently like to go social media. Who doesn't go social media first and then announce it? Come on.
So that's been the one thing that's a challenge. I don't do social media at all.
Outrageous.
Outrageous, but it turns out it's kind of important nowadays. So being able to get the challenge out to people in that way has been probably my biggest learning curve. In my head, I was like, oh yeah, people are hiking these mountains and I'm just going to tell them that this exists and they're all going to do it. But turns out I have to follow algorithms and make friends. But it's been enjoyable. It's been fun, and it's exciting to see people receptive to the challenge. So yeah, it's growing slowly but surely.
It's fantastic. And once again, Ted, how many times have I said this? Social media is a double-edged sword. Like, you could.
I think it's the first time I'm hearing you say this, Scott.
Come on, don't.
He's good at it.
Normally, you're like the social media snob. you're totally into it.
I do, but I hate it, and it's once again like it's I've that jump that I had into that clear water, I've received like death threats, like from it, like how you dare you do that? I'm gonna beat the shit out of you next time I see you. I'm like, dude, I didn't even give away the location. And then, once again, it just, but then I also, with the podcast, Tad and I, we teach leave no trace. We teach, not to give away crazy locations. If we do, once again, leave no trace and stuff. And that's what the hardship that comes with social media. Now, I understand where you're coming from, David, with this. Especially downstate, when you have 7 million people within, an hour of where this challenge is, that's a tough thing. But once again,
let's ask you, David. Did you think about that? Did you in formulating the list and doing it obviously with the intent and purpose of getting the word out there that there was this challenge and getting people to do it? Did you have like a moral debate going on in your head? Is this a good thing? Making these, hiking these mountains, hiking this terrain, is it a good thing to make it more popular than it already is, or that it's naturally progressing to be? I'm going to, throw this out there as a catalyst. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Did you have that debate going on in your head? So tell us about that.
Yeah. There was a thought in my head, but I don't think it was ever something that I thought I could possibly be on the wrong side of. Mm-hmm. And that's because, unlike the fragile ecosystems of the Catskills, one nice thing about these Hudson Valley peaks is that they have been set up for the numbers. I'm not going to generate more traffic. These people are already hiking these mountains. I'm giving them a badge of honor for playing in these mountains. Yeah, I don't think that my challenge is going to generate increased traffic, for example, to Breakneck Ridge or Bear Mountain. These are areas that see millions of people a year, literally.
They already fucked up at this.
Yeah, one of them has its own train stop, doesn't it? Like you don't even need a car.
Right.
You take the train. Right to the trailhead.
That's actually by design too. It actually they've done studies to see the number of people that were coming off by train, and it's a sizable chunk, which is great because it creates less bottleneck on the roads. At the time they didn't have the resources for parking, but yeah, people that come off the train, and this is not something new either. In building the challenge, I got to dive deep into the history of the Hudson Highlands, which I love. I know, Stash, you love looking at the history of the Catskills. But you get your peaks like Mount Beacon. We have South Beacon Mountain on the challenge that has our beautiful fire tower. But Beacon Mountain has had lots of ways for people to take the train and come visit the mountain. I mean, this is going back to the 1920s and 30s. They had an incline railway that went up right at the side of the mountain. So you could hop off the train in Newburgh, take the ferry across to Beacon, ride your train to the top, and there was a little casino and hotel up top, and you spend your money. And then when you're done, you reverse it and you go back to the city. So this is something that's been part of the region for as long as people have been playing in these mountains. So I don't think I'm generating any more traffic to these mountains. And if anything, I'm encouraging people to broaden their horizon. So there's more to the Hudson Valley than just your bare mountains and your breakneck ridges. And I've designed the challenge so that there is a mix of, these are your classic peaks. These are the ones that you've probably done already, and for good reason. They're phenomenal. They're classics for a reason. But then here's another little park or off to the side that is phenomenal. You're going to have it to yourself. And even with my challenge, even with more people going there, there's room for growth there and room to kind of breathe.
Yeah. So you're getting people, you're like dispersing the traffic. You're getting people to broaden their horizons and get around and explore the region. And maybe this is a good segue to what I call the rapid fire round of questions. Okay. So I've got 1 through 7, and let's start at number 1. What is the most well-known on the list of 28?
I'd have to say among the general public, that'd probably be Bear Mountain. Bear Mountain is the second most popular state park in New York.
I was going to say New York. It's got to be New York. Besides Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I think the first most.
Oh, Niagara.
Most popular. Yeah, it might be Niagara. Yeah. So, I mean, this is an area that sees millions of people a year.
Wow. And people complain about Overlook.
I was thinking about that because I looked at what is the traffic on something like the Catskill Falls, and I couldn't find the most recent study, but it was something like 57,000 in one summer. But that was a few years back. But I mean, we can do that in a weekend at Bear Mountain. So pretty wild. Just a different volume entirely. But that's probably the most popular. I mean, and for good reason. It's
very phenomenal, right?
Bear Mountain has 360-degree views. There's a fire lookout, or former fire lookout, at the top. It's a stone structure that's open in the summer and spring. You can also there's a road right to the top. You can drive to the summit, and there's beautiful benches, views all around. That's one of your places where you can see the Manhattan skyline, and you can also see the Catskills. You can see the Hudson River. Phenomenal. Deserves to be number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my daughters and we hiked up Bear Mountain way back when they were young, both younger than 10 years. And it's the mountain I took them up to for their first sunset hike. And it was phenomenal for the two of them. Okay. Question number 2. Which of the 28 is the least well known?
So I put 2 peaks on the list that it seems a lot of people had not done prior. One of them is Snake Hill, that's in Newburgh, right in the middle of the city. So it's a very urban mountain, gorgeous view. And then the other one is in Westchester County. That's Turkey Mountain, and it's got its own little preserve, quaint, perfect little beginner hike to the top. Beautiful views, great little hike. But yeah, hidden gems for sure.
What's this hike up Snake Hill like in Newburgh?
Snake Hill is something that your average Catskill hiker will be done with in about 15 minutes. Yeah, there's about 300 vertical. You can start in either a park or a little community garden, and you just hike up trails to a woods road, and there's a bench at the top, beautiful views over Beacon, New York, and the northern gate of the Hudson Highlands. It's one of my favorite views for sure.
Wow.
I am very jealous that I don't live closer to these areas to see, once again, the Manhattan skyline and the Hudson Valley area and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would imagine this has a great view looking downriver in the
Yes.
Hudson.
So yeah, it looks north. It looks, excuse me, south towards the mountains, and which is a
Wow.
unique view. And that's one of the reasons why I chose it for the list. It's a very unique view compared to some of the other peaks in the Hudson Island.
Maybe I'm going to check it out. Stosh, you want to do number 3?
That's a good. Real quick, that's a great hike for recovering because not a rock in
Ted.
sight.
Oh yeah.
You start
I
at
could do
San
it-
Giacomo Park in the
Mhm.
south and just hike those trails. Yeah.
I can do it with my slip-on shoes.
And your shower chair for sure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna get shoulder straps for the shower chair. That's how
Mhm.
folks will recognize me.
No one will battle ash either. You're in the
Yeah.
city.
I know,
Clothing
right?
optional.
Nobody's going to judge you. You either have
Yeah.
a beer in your hand or you have, your shower like caddy in your hand or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like,
Okay.
come on. I mean, the one thing I was going to ask before shooting on to number 3, like, are these like these areas like categorized, or did you just go like you can do whatever you want at once, or do you have them least difficult to most difficult, like stuff like that?
I didn't mark them least difficult to most difficult. I didn't want to get too into the weeds of how people should approach this challenge. The beauty of it is that like none of the things are really difficult. I think it's all the peaks are very beginner friendly. It's a big enough list that like you space out and have fun. And I also wanted to give wiggle room to people who are more advanced hikers. I mean, like I said, a lot of the people that are in the Hudson Valley that are hiking these mountains, I mean, these are their mountains, and
It's an
they're putting
afternoon
big
hike
days
for
in.
them.
This is, they know all the ways to the tops of these peaks. So there's room for the math lovers to look and see how can I piece these all together and string 6 or 7 of them together. And then there's room for somebody who's like, this is my first hike, and it's fine. You're all going to do fine. So
That's a good. I mean, so what is the most difficult? Like, how would you? Is that Bear Mountain
so
with the insane incline, or is it something else?
Bear Mountain stuff. I think that Breakneck Ridge is going to be the harder climb for multiple reasons. I mean, one, it's currently the trailhead that you would start at is currently closed. They're renovating that area and building it up for better infrastructure. So it's a longer approach to that mountain. You now have to hike over another mountain just to get in the area. But then Breakneck Ridge is a scramble, and it's a true scramble. I mean, it's probably one of the scrambliest things you can do in the Lower Hudson before you get into like some nuanced hikes in the gunks, and it's pretty infamous for that. I mean, it's phenomenal. If you're into rock and you live in this area, you've played on Breakneck Ridge.
Nice. So now, is there like any other one that, I mean, you say the hardest, like, is there any other one, like, kind of like, instead of elevation gain wise, lengthwise, like to get to, like, is there anything as something like you would say, like, oh man, like, this is a bitch.
There's no slogs for sure.
Okay, slogs. That's good.
Right now. Yeah, there's no slogs. Most of the peaks can be done in less than 7 or 8 miles. I think that one of our longest ones, besides Breakneck right now, and that's strictly because of the detours, would be Shunamonk, which I'm happy that you were able to pronounce well on your last podcast.
Tad, that was Tad and Chrissy G helped me on that one. I was, you know what? Like I'm upstate New York, so I have shit that I got to pronounce that's out of your world. So Skinny Atlas, Schenectady, stuff like that. So, but yes, Shunamonk, yes, Shunamonk. I mean, that's not too bad, but like that, how long is that hike?
So, I mean, there are several ways that you can hike that mountain, but there's a ridge route. So Shunamonk, if you see it on the horizon, it's this beautiful long ridge. And the long trail, the long path, excuse me, that heads up to the Catskills goes over most of that ridge. So you can hike it from the southwest and hike the entire ridge up. And I believe that's like around 8-ish miles if you did that as an out and back. Yeah, no, long hikes to single mountains really don't exist here unless you were really contrived in how you went about it.
Is there with your downstate 28 challenge, is there something kind of like difficult to get to? Like, we have, I mean, I could always say Lone and Rocky, middle of absolute
Yeah.
freaking nowhere. We have to go around certain areas, get back into the thing. You're going through the boondocks, stuff like that. Do you have any of these that kind of like brings people away from the city into the wilderness?
Well, all of them are going to be away from the city, just general direction of the mountains there. There's nothing that's going to be too hard. And I got some slack with this. I remember when I first posted the challenge, they were like, why can't it be just accessible by train? I'm like, because it can't.
Yeah.
It can't all be accessible by train.
Correct.
But,
Come on.
But you can get pretty close. There's some driving involved. We're on both sides of the Hudson with this challenge. So you will be crossing the bridges, and that means some toll money. But no, if you've adventured in the Catskills, this will feel a lot more kind of right there for sure.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, David. So you have the Downstate 28. You have the Downstate 28 Winter.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine wants to know, is there going to be the Downstate 28 Grid, or also known as the Downstate 28 336?
It comes out
Yeah,
336.
this is for, by the way, this is for Joanne.
Yeah.
Yes, Joanne.
She's already penciling in her Downstate 28 Grid. She wants to
So-
finish her 01. But okay,
Oh,
go
wow.
ahead. Is there a
She's welcome
Downstate
to.
28 Grid?
I doubt that anyone would want to do it.
Mhm.
But if they did, I will make them a patch for sure.
Okay. All right.
I will hand sew if I need to.
Yeah.
When I envisioned the challenge, it wasn't in a grid capacity. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know if I wanted to do a winter one. Some of it's because we don't bat a lash at the change of the seasons here. They're more mild than they are up in the Catskills, where it's winter now, so we're throwing on our snowshoes. We need our micro spikes. I mean, some winters you can do everything just kind of bare booted. You don't need to even strap on some traction. So I debated on even doing a winter challenge. But that said, there is something unique about hiking this area in the winter, and some of that's just that it's we're not in the alpine. With the leaves down, you get more views, and I think that's really nice.
Yeah, the views are different. The
Mm-hmm.
sound of being in the woods in the winter is different. Particularly if there's some snow on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The way sound travels in the winter is different in the summer, and I think one of the benefits to whether you're doing a grid or you're doing the Four Seasons is going out and seeing these mountains different times of the year is really eye-opening, particularly in an area like the Catskills where the water is more erosive. Getting out in the spring when the streams are raging and you see those erosive forces at work, and that's what primarily shaped the Catskills, that and the ice flows. But all right, so David, you came up with the list. You've put the list out there for people. Are you willing to tell us which of the 28 is your favorite and why?
Oof. That's very hard. So a little peek behind the curtain. When I first created the challenge, there were close to 50 on the list.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I had to whittle it down. Some of it just because the Downstate 28 just sounded better than the Downstate, 47. But yeah, there are a lot of phenomenal mountains down here. One in particular that is truly special to me is a Sugarloaf Mountain. That's on the eastern side of the Hudson Highlands. It's actually just north of Breakneck Ridge. And a few years back, it suffered a pretty substantial wildfire that pretty much destroyed the top of it. Talk about wildfires.
Yeah.
We never
New
had
York State.
wildfires, we never had wildfires in this area. And that decimated the top of that mountain, and they ended up rerouting the trail to allow it to heal. Anyway, that hands down would have been my favorite mountain of the challenge if it made the list. But because that trail doesn't exist right now, and I didn't want to encourage people to hike on sensitive habitat like that, it's not on the list. I would love for it to to go on the list one day. And I think that's one of the cool things about making your own challenges. I can also make my own rules. So if one day I want that, if I want that peak to be on the list because it's open again, then yeah.
So it'll be the New York Downstate 29er challenge.
20, maybe we'll just boot one. Who knows?
Yeah, or it'll be the 28.2. Yeah.
Yeah, the Catskills 35ers tell me you can make up the rules. So
it can be a New York Downstate 28 plus.
28 plus bonus edition.
Yeah, the bonus edition.
I think my favorite on the list right now would be maybe Storm King. I think I've done Storm King more than any other mountain on the challenge. The bang for your buck is hard to beat. You get great views. And if you're doing our challenge, the 28er, you climb 2 mountains. You climb an extra mountain getting over to Storm King Mountain. You climb Butter Hill, which is actually higher. And yeah, they're just phenomenal. You can be on a mountaintop in less than a half hour, enjoying 360-degree views, see the Gunks, see the Catskills, see the Manhattan skyline, see your car, see the pizza place you're going to go to afterwards. Perfect.
Yeah.
Is Storm King Mountain the one that's located with the aqueduct, right?
On that side of the Hudson, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's once again, you can look over the other side of the Hudson and be like, wow, the fucking aqueduct is 1,000 feet below the Hudson.
Underneath that, yeah.
Wow.
Storm King is a very important mountain for our area. There was pretty much launched the grassroots environmental movement that peak, because at one point they were going to chop that mountain in half. And I don't know if you've ever seen that mountain. It's probably one of the most iconic mountains down here. It looks gorgeous. It looks like a whale's head, and the highway just makes a little mouth out of the whale. But they were going to chop that mountain in half to make a hydroelectric plant, Con Ed. Wow. And in the 60s, the grassroots organization, Scenic Hudson, formed to protect that land, and they succeeded. It was one of the iconic, you can kind of fight the federal government and win.
Yeah.
for on behalf of the public.
Yeah, the Scenic Hudson case is noteworthy, and what David's alluding to is up until Scenic Hudson, the courts did not recognize a citizens group as having legal standing to challenge action, state government approvals, because they disagreed with it. Whether citizens disagreed with it, they didn't have standing to go to court and challenge the approval of a project. And so along comes Scenic Hudson, and they established the precedent that a local citizens group can have standing to bring a legal challenge to an approval on environmental grounds, which is significant, because without that, think of all the things that could be approved by the government that would go unchallenged by the public, other than in elections. Yeah. So yeah, Scenic Hudson, crazy important case.
Indeed, and they're still doing phenomenal work. As a matter of fact, that Snake Hill that I mentioned earlier, that's one of their parks. They preserve that area from harm. The city's big, but that little slice of woods exists because of Scenic Hudson.
Cool.
And Scenic Hudson is also doing that the rail trail, right? Not the rail trail, but something along the Hudson. Tad, we talked about it several times, correct?
Yeah, there's on the eastern side, I think there's like a connector trail from Cold Spring? Upriver?
The Fjord Trail?
Fjord Trail, yes, correct. Yeah. They've been doing some phenomenal work on that.
I mean, that's going to be a big thing too. That will bring a lot of infrastructure to the area. I know that there's some opposition to it. And I'm not kind of in tune with enough of the inner workings there to really choose a side. But I do know that the due diligence is there in terms of the infrastructure. So whatever they do build will be good. And it's going forward now, so it's kind of a moot point.
It's once again, it's a double-edged sword. Like if you put up, if it's a popular area, you put up enough information to educate people and teach them that, like, leave no trace is very important. The ducks coming along the Hudson or something like that, the sea otters coming from the Hudson shouldn't eat this because you're littering. Like, it'll influence people to pass that information upon, people that might do this New York Downstate or 28 challenge and then come up to the Catskills, come up to New York, it's, we talked about it before. It's a double-edged sword. Like, we want to bring people into nature more, but we want to keep them educated. But can we keep them educated with the amount of influx that is coming in to these areas? And it's tough. Like David, you said, Breakneck Ridge and Bear Mountain, the influx of people is absolutely insane. Like, with the number you said, that the total goes beyond Catskill, the falls, and then we want to limit 100,000 people per day with the Catskill Falls. Yeah. It's just insane.
Yep, it's all relative, but I think that one good thing that the Lower Hudson Valley does well. They have the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, which does have an impact up in the Catskills. They oversee the trail building and maintaining there. Is they know how to build for longevity. So yeah, when they build a trail, especially with one of their trail crews that they align with, the Jolly Rover Trail crew and things like that, that stuff's going to stick around for a while, and that's what these areas need. Places are popular for a reason. Unless you do something that's gonna, really just force people not to go, then they're going to continue to go. So you can fight that, or you can build infrastructure that keeps the land safe, the people happy. There is a balance, and I think that the trail conference and how they align themselves with trail crews will do that. You just got to let it happen.
Yeah, correct. Well, the irony is part of getting people to appreciate the environment, so they protect the environment going forward, is getting them out there to experience the environment. If somebody's living in Manhattan in a skyscraper, it's conceivably hard to get them to vote in favor of budget items and legislative items and state legislators who are in favor of those things when these people have no appreciation for the outdoors, or they think a great outdoor experience is joining a country club and going out and playing golf. Okay. So yeah, a lot of these things are, to some people, maybe just necessary evils. And speaking of people, why don't we go on to the next topic? How many finishers of the Downstater 28 have there been, and what can you tell us about them?
Yeah. So we have a small finish set. I believe it's 25 right now. And that's 3 dogs. So our challenge is open to pups, and we actually have a separate little award for them. So 3 dogs and 25 people.
That makes 28.
Yeah. And they're largely local. We have finishers from each of the 5 counties that the challenge peaks are in. We also have a few from New Jersey, and we have one brave soul from Connecticut who's wandered over and played in our mountains.
Yeah, somebody who got lost on their way to the hike.
It's great.
They did the 28 in a day. So.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
With this, the completion, do you have like an age range? Like, do they give all information and stuff?
So I purposely didn't want to track that information. I understand that it would probably be useful. One has described themselves as a boomer, but
but that wasn't
it wasn't you. I didn't see your name on the list. But yeah, so we're not tracking age or sex.
Boomers, non-boomers.
Where they're from. I asked them about their favorite and least favorite peaks. I asked them how they found the challenge so that I can help grow. Spoiler, it's Instagram, which is crazy. And yeah, and I encourage those questions, but the rest we can keep vague for sure.
So what is the most favorite hike for them? Is there a
It's
consensus on that?
breakneck. It's
Oh,
breakneck by a landslide for sure.
Mhm.
And if you've, like I said, if you've done it, I don't know if you've done that one, Tad.
Tad, have you?
I did it like 20 some years ago.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
Tad,
that's
we
back
got to
when-
do it over again.
Back when it wasn't
can't-
what it is now. It was
It's a
almost like a
scramble.
wild
There's a few-
frontier.
There's a few more steps now. They added
Mm.
some steps. There used to be a really crazy like boulder field that was kind of loose and really, really crummy. So the steps were totally warranted. They also added some arrows where you can take an easier route instead of going up the scrambles. But we don't. look at
Interesting.
those. We look at the harder routes.
I remember it as a wild experience way back when.
Yeah.
So Tad, so it looks like I'm going to have to stay at your house, and we're going to complete this Downstate 28 rounds when you get
Good.
your recovery done.
Bring your
Mhm.
own hard ciders, because we just we have IPA and wine here. I'm just saying.
So how so when you started this, like how long does it take it to complete? Like, has there any been kind of like a time frame before people have finished and stuff?
So one unique thing about my challenge that a lot of other challenges don't do is if you've climbed these peaks before, they count. I'm not going to make you reclimb these mountains, although
Mhm.
they're phenomenal and you should do that. I'm not going to require that. Like, for example, Tad, you don't have to go back and do breakneck again, but you should. It's phenomenal. And that's because I'm not reinventing the wheel with this challenge. People have been hiking in these mountains long before I pieced 28 peaks together and made a website about it. So yeah, they deserve that recognition if they've hiked those mountains. And I'm seeing that a lot of the finishers have. And one of their comments, most of all, is that like it was great that they thought that they knew everything that was to know about the area, and then they found a few new gems, and that's great. I love that. A lot of our finishers have been playing in these mountains for a while. Our first two finishers were two trail runners that live in Beacon. They run those mountains every day.
Mm.
And then they realized there were just a few that they hadn't explored, so they went and did a few more runs.
What are the names? Reveal yourself.
Reveal yourself. It's on our website. We list all of our finishers on the website. Yeah, so if you wanted to creep, you can go creep. We do allow people to anonymize their names too if they don't want to be on the internets, although they're probably screwed in some other way.
Yeah,
but it won't be on our website if they don't want to.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I know a lot of, like, once again, the organizations that we have that do trail running and stuff do a lot of challenges within that area down in the Hudson Valley. So you can complete freaking like probably like 10 of those peaks in one day with these people that do the trail runs.
Yeah. This area does breed a lot of ultra athletes. I mean, it's good vertical, but you're like near the city. That's where people live. I had one gentleman reach out to me. He wants to do it all in one go. He's an athlete biker. So he's going to bike his way between the peaks and then hike the peaks and then bike to the next one. So he's in the planning phase. I'm helping him plan it out. So that'd be cool. I like that people are
give us his name. We'll get him on the show when he's done. If he survives, Breakneck Ridge.
Yeah. If he survives, I'll make sure that he reaches out to you.
If he doesn't, then we don't want somebody like
We
that.
should make him carry the bike.
No, we
Enough
had
on the
Alex
show.
on the last episode. Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the Catskills, and he survived. I'm talking about somebody who, like dies out there.
Hudson Valley can take a train back home.
You could, yeah. I mean, he's going to come down Snake Hill and his wife will be gone.
I shouldn't say shit, man. I haven't been out there, man. I'm jealous. I've you talking about this, man. That's like 2.5, 3 hour drive for me. But to see the Manhattan skyline from somebody who has lived up in upstate New York 40 years of my life. I've seen that once, and I did this when I was down in Ramapo, and we were doing a search and rescue operation, and I saw the Manhattan skyline at night, and my God, my thoughts were just like, this is I wouldn't say just as stunning as the Catskills, but something that I will never forget in my lifetime.
Yeah. Well, it's
for
when
sure.
you think about it, it's really crazy because you could be standing on Storm King and looking down in Manhattan,
Yeah.
and there's nobody around you, but you're like, 25, 30 miles as the crow flies away from one of the most populated places
On
on
Earth.
planet
Yeah.
Earth. Yeah. And
Right?
here you are, though. Here you are all alone,
Mhm.
just upriver from there.
Yep.
Which is, I think,
Wow.
a crazy thing. The other thing I'll say, notwithstanding the limited hiking that I've done recently in the Hudson Valley area, particularly along the Hudson River, the one thing that I find remarkable is, especially through Harriman State Park, how park-like the understory is. These like grassy areas under the hardwood forests there. It's so unlike in the Catskills. There are certain places in the Western Catskills and at lower elevations where you do see that, but I just think it's a really handsome.
Talking about the pitch pines and stuff like that?
No, these aren't pitch
No.
pines. These are
Just
hardwood
open
areas.
understory.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
The understory is very open.
Mhm.
A lot of grassy areas, a lot of ferns. We have a lot of oh man, I'm a sucker for a good fern single
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Single track through fern.
I choose ferns over frickin' nettles any day.
We have no nettle. Well, we do, but like very minimal.
Really?
You're
There's
not, no
nettle? Wow.
bushwhacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no bushwhacking.
The
on
nettles
our
are from
challenge.
that hiker that hiked in the Catskills one weekend and came down and
Yeah.
did Harriman the next weekend
Yep.
without cleaning off their shoes.
Yep.
So
You, I mean, once again, with this challenge, I mean, I bring this up, you offer different like type of forest types. Like I said, you up in the gunks, you have picnic forest, you have the pitch pine, stuff like that. And then you have hardwoods over to, I mean, anywhere besides that. It's just a phenomenal, different, diverse of terrain and stuff.
Yeah, for sure, and even different mountain ranges in our little tiny challenge. So, for example, hiking in the Hudson Highlands, you have these very dramatic peaks that kind of rise right out of the Hudson River, and they connect to the Taconic Mountains. Or then you can walk along the Palisades, which kind of hook around southern New York. Different mountains entirely, completely different geologic time frame. And like you feel a different vibe too. So there is a lot of variety in this little area. And that's part of the charm too, is finding so much diversity, so many different types of adventures in such a small area.
And like with that, you have like, once again, Breakneck Ridge, steep, insane gains. And then you have other areas that have been built for people like Tad said, 100 years ago with mountain carriages. They used to drive up to the top and stuff like that. It's just, it's a variety of everywhere. I mean, we have that in the Catskills, but not crazy like that. I mean, only 28. That's ridiculous. You need to make it like 115. I mean, you already done the 115. Never mind.
Well, I did decide for the challenge, 28 probably isn't enough. So I have created a small sub challenge for the peak just to broaden some horizons. And that was some of the recon I was doing this past weekend. It should hopefully be live by the end of the month. And it's a New York Downstate Fire Lookout Fiver challenge.
Ooh.
So there are currently 3 fire lookouts on the 28er challenge, but there are 6 fire towers in the downstate area, and then 5 more just outside. So with a little bit more driving, you could find other fire towers that aren't part of the Blue Line, the Catskills challenge. They're still firmly lower to mid Hudson Valley. So I want to encourage people to go and see those things too. Fire towers are phenomenal because you can stick them anywhere, and now you have a beautiful view. So that will launch at the end of the month.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
The patches are en route to me. So the design is all done. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That one word, patches.
Yeah. You can't go live
people
until you get the patches in hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't get the cart in front of the horse.
Yeah, because I'm sure that the's some trail runner that's already run them all. So Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But I'm going to open it up to my 28er finishers first. There may be some secret challenges within that challenge that they will be privy to, and then everyone else can happily figure out. One other thing that I like to do with my little challenge is pepper in secrets. My website's chock full of secrets, and if people find them, they find them, and if they don't, they don't. But like, I can give you some hints. So like, maybe there's like happy trails somewhere on my page, and if you click it, you'll get a reward. I don't know. I like things like that.
It's like Easter egg shit.
I love Easter eggs. So there are Easter eggs for my challenge that people may or may not happily stumble upon.
Interesting.
But yeah, having a blast with it.
Well, there you go for the two listeners that made it this far in the episode.
Yeah.
They're totally clued in.
David and his wife.
Yeah.
They made it this far in. Jesus, that's so sad. Also, David, I heard from recently from somebody that you also do another challenge. It's a Taconic 12er.
So I'm a sucker for underdog mountainous areas that are really fun to play in, but don't see any love. And the Taconics are one of them. The Taconics run vertically through most of New England. And it's just a phenomenal place to play. A lot of people drive through the Taconics to get to some other location. And there's great hiking to be had there. So that's the Taconic 12er Challenge. And it's 12 peaks that span Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. Phenomenal. I'm very proud of that. That was actually my first challenge that I thought about. And then the 28er kind of came out of that too. Yeah, very proud of that challenge. And a lot of people are taking to that one as well. One nice thing about that is a lot of people have inadvertently hiked a lot of those mountains when they're passing through or doing things like the high pointing. Check out that challenge too, especially if you like my downstate challenge, or if you like hiking the Catskills, because you can see the Catskills from just about all of those Taconic 12er peaks. The Catskills are always right there, smiling and waving. Yeah,
I've heard very underrated things about the Taconics. Like, you know, they don't have open summits, but they somewhat do. Right? Like, so it's a different type of forest.
Views are hard to come by. But when they're there, they're usually a grassy summit that feels pretty alpine. Some of the peaks remind me of mountains down in the southeastern Appalachians, the balds of like Tennessee and North Carolina. Yeah, really cool vibe. Really cool vibe. And very, very rugged. The Taconics are some of the oldest mountains on Earth. Older than the Appalachians, older than your Catskills and the things adjacent to it, the Berkshires and the Green Mountains. And they've just been folded and molded. It just makes for a really cool hiking vibe.
I did the Taconic Ridge, I think it was 2 summers ago. And it was a splendid hike. I mean, it was really interesting. And it was, A, different from the Catskills, and B, you kind of get that older mountain feel because it's not as jagged, not as many ravines, it's really weathered and been flattened out by the elements over, millions of years, presumably. But it was very cool. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. And there's plenty of it. I mean, it's such a huge range that you just keep driving north or south and you're still in the Taconics, and there's just still a plethora of hiking.
So, I mean, we should probably gone over statistics, but with the Taconic 12er, like, how long is that? How many miles is that? I didn't add this in the show notes.
If you did all the peaks, or
somewhat, and the same with the 28er. Like, do you have any rough estimate?
28er would be hard to figure out.
I'm so sorry. I totally forgot that.
So no worries. Someone had reached out to me about the Taconic 12. They're like, "Oh, do you want to do an ultra version?" And she did the math, and it was something like 30 something miles if you did the shortest peaks, the shortest routes to each peak. So it was like 30 something miles, which is a pretty burly day. But maybe doable. I think the hardest part of that would be the driving, and I think that's the same thing with the 28er too. Is that your crux is going to be all the different driving and all the different hoping you get a parking space and Don't do them as an ultra. Enjoy them as little day trips. Go get an afternoon beer. Yeah.
Dude, I like your style.
Yeah, do them when you
Yep.
have someplace else to be in the afternoon, but you want to
Yeah.
bag on a quick hike.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They're
right?
perfect for that. They're perfect for a morning jaunt and an afternoon
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah, it's like once again, David, I know you are you're one of the creator of this challenge and stuff like that, but you want to enjoy the mountains, you want to take your time to feel good and stuff like that.
Hike your own hike.
Yeah. Do you have any merch?
Do you have any merch? So I did make a couple stickers. So this is where the sticker thing started. Is for the challenge, when people finish their challenge, they get a certificate, they get their beautiful patch, and they get a sticker of the finisher emblem. So I started making those stickers, and then I was like, oh man, there's all these cool little things about the Hudson Valley that I want to capture in sticker form, so people can rock stuff. And it started with little hike downstate and I'd rather be upstate and things like that. So yeah, those stickers are on the website, and then just the sticker snowballed. It turns out it's really fun to come up with creative sticker ideas. Yeah, so there is some merch.
Yeah, Stosh tells me, and I just want to know this is true because I find it hard to believe. So you said you have like I'd rather be upstate sticker, I'd rather be downstate sticker, and then Stosh says, I'd rather be listening to Inside the Line sticker. Is that true? That's your most popular one?
That's a great one.
It's in production. Production, I'm sure it'll be a bestseller.
Yeah. So, and it's like a mountain lion with headphones, drinking a hard cider, listening to the podcast. That's what the sticker's all about.
On top of the summit of Grand Mountain.
Yeah.
I do have a
Inside
Grand Mountain
his
sticker in
crib
there.
or cage, vegging out. Okay.
Yeah, we need to take over the Goulds area. So, now, are you considering any more downstate challenges like in the future?
Well, we heard you're doing the bonus one, the fire
so
tower.
There's going to be the bonus one, and there's also going to be a consolidated 28er that's just going to be the classic 8. So it's going to be the 8 most popular peaks in the challenge. This is for people like Stosh, who it'd be hard to justify making so many trips down to the Hudson Valley, although we'd love to have you. But you could spend a long weekend and hike all of the classic peaks that make the Hudson Valley so special. Try our food and drink our beers and our ciders. And you can get your patch. It's just a small subset. So it'd be the classic 8 instead of the 28. So that's in the works. There'll be an ultra version of that for our overachievers that want to do a bunch of things in a single day.
Nice.
I think that'll satisfy people for the time being. My brain's always working. So every time I get on a hike, I come up with something new that I want to do. There's just never enough time. That's where the stickers are like. I can microdose my creative outlets.
Yeah, I once again, I appreciate this because, to get people away from, you have so many challenges that we can divert people to, once again, David, you're very good with Leave No Trace and stuff like that, teaching, to educating, as we are with the podcast and stuff. We can teach people, educate people to start with this challenge, move on to the next challenge, move on to the next challenge. And, it's all benefit. We're all connected, like Ted, once again, connected here, Hudson Valley down to the Catskill, stuff like that. We're all one big connection here to everything that goes on with good old NYC. So
it's a small community.
It is. It's a great community, we want to hear first and foremost, we all want to hear when Joanne completes her grid of the New York Downstate 28.
The 336. Finisher 01.
01.
And
I mean,
only finish.
Yeah, David, are you going to be here? Are you going to try to be here before this?
I've put in a lot of summits. Just now that it's my challenge, I feel a personal responsibility to see how these peaks are doing. So I find myself doing them a lot, and that's most people do these peaks a lot, but yeah, I'm doing them a whole lot. And now that I have a new puppy, the puppy's doing them. So yeah, I'm out in those mountains. She's got her work cut out for her. She's going to beat me on the grid.
Oh, it's a challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, so we're gonna have to see how the bets go down on Poly Market. Is it going to be David or Joanne? Right? Who finishes first? I'm not going to say who I'm putting my money on, Joanne. But
Yeah.
just
I
throwing
don't
that
know.
out there.
David has climbed Mount Hood and frickin' the Mount St. Helens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah. Also, well, David did say he hikes every day. Did I hear that correctly? 5 hours
I mean,
ago at the beginning of the podcast, right? Monday
I
morning
know,
when
yeah.
we started.
Marathon. This is our ultra endurance podcast.
yeah.
But,
Do you get a patch if you listen to the podcast and do the 28 challenge at the same time? Because that's tough.
Well, I think you get a patch if you can finish it while you listen to an episode. Like one episode, you're done. If you pick
probably
like
could do
that
several peaks in the time it takes you to go through
Right?
the episode.
Yeah.
So the pro tip, listeners, is if you want to finish any hiking challenge while listening to one episode of Inside the Line, you have to go way, way, way back, pre-Tad days, and listen to the guy who did Bear Pen. Remember that guy?
Oh God.
Yeah. That was like 2 years.
That was a freaking 4.5 hours episode.
Yeah.
That was fantastic, though. The history, once again, maybe we could have David come back on because he is well known with the history of the Hudson Valley area, and that just, it fascinates me with the history going from New York City up to the Catskills. It's just, it's just phenomenal. So, last question we always ask David, post hike brews and bites, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I think this is where the New York metro area, the downstate region, just may have the Catskills whooped.
Ooh.
And it's that there's just world-class food and drink everywhere here. It kind of has made us a little snobby, like when we go up to the Catskills and
a little snobby, a little.
A little.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you ever shopped at Tops Market in Tannersville?
Yes, and then make a TikTok about it or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, well done.
So you finished up hiking Storm King. You want to grab something to eat.
Yes.
Where you go home. Where do you go?
Sure. So your big city right there is going to be Newburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a fun one. So you do Storm King and it's a short hike. So it's still early. You go and you grab some lunch at Downstate Newburgh. It's a kind of fusion Mexican, but like traditional Mexican, like CD Mexican food. Phenomenal. It's right across the street, and this is probably one of my favorite parts about it. It's right across the street from Washington headquarters.
Okay.
Where George Washington stayed, did everything he needed to do during that time.
Oh, he did the 28 when he was there.
He did the 28, yes.
Okay.
So you can eat your Mexican food while looking at the birthplace of America.
Mm-hmm.
And then since it's still early, you can go and hike. You can hike your Snake Hill, which is not far away. And then you can walk right around the corner and grab a beer at Newburgh Brewing, which is right there too. Okay. Phenomenal beers. Yeah, great area.
Awesome.
And that's just like one little block.
Yeah.
Yeah. One little freaking section of the Downstate 28 challenge. So phenomenal. David, I definitely appreciate you joining us tonight. This was a phenomenal chat about, once again, the Hudson Valley, connecting the Catskills to the Hudson Valley area. And, I appreciate you making this challenge because we don't want to bring people away from the Catskills, but
but we need something to talk about. So we appreciate you making it.
Well, I'm going to make a podcast called Outside the Line, and all I'm going to do is talk about the Catskills. So.
Yeah.
Dude,
all right,
I'll allow it.
Stosh, hit the delete button.
I will allow it. I once again, I promote Leave No Trace, stuff like that. And, David, you're huge with that.
Yeah.
And this is great segment into a different challenge that will bring people up here to the Catskills, start them out. There's some rugged mountains. There's some easy, beautiful mountains down there. So, I appreciate you doing this. It's a lot of hard work. I understand. And, we look forward to hearing about finishers and stuff like that on the tagging and stuff. And good luck on everything. And we'll see you in the future, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I look forward to hosting when you come down and hike these peaks.
Oh, dude, definitely will. Definitely will. So
Yep.
have a good night, David. Tell Baki I said hello. And you should have been all. Oh, my God. That was
Oh boy. Well,
embarrassing. Yes.
we
Korean
need some
Cambria.
now we need some edits.
Ah,
Thanks,
see,
David.
look at that.
No,
look
leave
at that
it.
smile
Leave
on
it.
her face.
Leave it.
I will. So have a good night, David. We'll see you in the future, buddy.
Absolutely. Take care,
All right.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, I just want to thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe and throw down a smooth review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any podcast platform that you use. You can also check daily updates of the podcast, hikes, hiking news, and local news on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the official website of the show. Remember this. You gotta just keep on living in the Catskills, man. Livin.
Wicked.